They're showing us stuff that they've seen with the naked eye, which is good of them to do, but I wouldn't take that as a substitute for a structural inspection. There's bound to be more stuff that would need attending to.
Of course. The question is that we'll go back to that last one is that water damage, but I'm assuming anything
I don't think so. That seems to me like peeling wallpaper more than anything else, but
which is nothing. But that's why you get an inspection done. I mean, I
yeah.
assume I get that if you put an offer in, I would assume just like anywhere else, you put an offer in, you're still under contingent under inspection.
Yeah, so we would submit the offer. On the offer, we'd note that it's pending structural inspection report. And then if the offer has been accepted, then we'll go ahead and commission that. There's no point in you being out of pocket before the offer's been accepted.
Okay.
But just looking at it, man, I think it'll cost you several times the price of the property again to bring it up to any kind of decent condition, regardless of what they find in the structural inspection, just stuff that I'm seeing on the photos.
Yep.
Uh,
That's understandable.
And concrete retaining wall, which we're not seeing in the photos here, but because it's built on a cliff, I'm assuming there's a retaining wall there. When that goes, that can be a good 10, 15 million to rebuild if for any, I mean, even a medium kind of earthquake could, necessitate rebuilding the retaining wall. Hi there, folks, and welcome back to Nippon Trading International's Japan Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Ziv Nakajima again, and this podcast is brought to you, among others, by Emil Gorgies of realestate.jp. He's a Tokyo real estate agent who specializes in serving international or mixed nationality families who are looking for the perfect family home. So Emil's an Australian. He's been living here in Japan for over 2 decades now, and for about half of that time he's been buying, selling, and managing real estate properties in Tokyo on behalf of his own family and a great many happy clients. And he also acts as a mortgage broker on behalf of his clients. So he's got dedicated loan officers in many of the Japanese mega banks. And if you're a regular listener of the podcast, you probably already know him from our JREP, the Japan Real Estate Experts panel sessions, which means that you're already aware of the fact that the man is an absolute fountain of wisdom on all things related to real estate in Japan, and in particular to family homes, the greater Tokyo metropolitan area, and mortgages. And most importantly, he's incredibly generous with his time and advice, which he's more than happy to provide at no cost or commitment to anyone asking. So if you've been thinking about buying your home in Tokyo, but you've been sitting on the fence for a while, or you just want to have a chat in English with a real expert, drop him a line on sales@realestate.jp. Hit him up today and start exploring your options. All right, so we're slowly winding down from the insanity of this month's summit. It took place about 3 weeks ago. If you haven't been following our posts and emails, and you haven't noticed the last few uploads here on the podcast as well, the Summit's downloads page is now live, which means you can hop over to our website, nippontradings.com. That's NIPPON Tradings with an S, all one word, nippontradings.com. There's a link at the top of the homepage there to the downloads page where you'll be able to view the event's highlights reel, all of the main room video presentations, huge photo gallery, and of course slide decks from almost all presenters if you want, so you can follow along with the video or audio recordings. So have a blast and tell us which of our awesome speakers were your favorite. We love hearing your feedback. Oh, and we can already let you know the dates for next April's event, the spring session of the Japan Real Estate Summit, are already locked in. It's going to be the 18th and 19th of April 2026, Saturday and Sunday again. And most likely at the same place, Tokyo International Forum near Tokyo and Ginza stations. So if you're planning your trips to Tokyo or even to Japan ahead of time, as I know many of our regular attendees do, feel free to lock these in. That's 18 and 19 April 2026 at the Tokyo International Forum, or online, of course. If you can't make it in person, the streaming room will still be there. All right, so back to routine for now here on the podcast. And today's episode is your favorite format. Again, 2 back-to-back conversations with 2 potential clients, both recorded earlier this year. The first conversation is with a longtime resident of Kyoto, so he's living here in Japan, and he's wanting to buy 1 or 2 properties, both a family home as well as a retreat center. and he's wondering if he should be buying secondhand or building from scratch. And if he is going to be buying secondhand, how old should he be purchasing? So, what are the pros and cons of both strategies, buying secondhand and building new? What are some popular areas for purchases of homes that have an onsen, natural hot spring water supply? He was also curious and wanted to know more about purchasing entire apartment buildings as investments directly from a developer, so again, brand new, as opposed to buying these apartment buildings secondhand. So we talk a little bit as well about appreciation, depreciation, reselling properties and at what values. We talk about the differences between Akia Hub and Akia Mart, two of our partners and both very valuable resources for property buyers in Japan. And finally, a bit more of a personal chat about what we, Chikako and myself, personally invest in, what our portfolio's like, my own personal goals and plans for the future, and a lot more. So, nice friendly chat about quite a few aspects of the property and investment market here in Japan. Enjoy this first conversation, and I'll see you again on the other side right before we dive into the next one. All right. So you mentioned at the bottom of your email that you're interested in hearing more about the type of people that we're looking for to help check out properties. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's one of the points. I'm definitely trying to pivot in my work in Japan here. I've been here almost 17 years, basically, with a permanent residence now. So, I wanted to. It seemed like some people were looking for either investment opportunities, or you said you were looking for staff as well. So, it was you said you needed people to go look at certain buildings. So, I travel all around the country, so I thought that might be something we could talk about.
Ah, I see. Well, what we really need right now, I'm not sure if you could help with. We're looking for a bookkeeper, bilingual bookkeeper who is here in Fukuoka City and can come into the office most days of the week and do
Okay, okay, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Maybe not right up your alley, I think, no?
Yeah, I thought maybe it was I'm not a certified agent, but if the it seems like there's a lot of the market is really growing. So one thing I thought maybe would be somehow to get involved with that end of it.
But
But
we're always on the lookout for bilingual agents that we can work with, but
the agents, yeah.
they do need to be licensed and they're not going
Okay,
to be
right, right.
employed by us. We just partner with them and send them customers and
I
share
see.
commissions with them, that kind of thing.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Yeah, so the other things is really I've talked to a couple, Tracy and Alicia, and also even what we connect was it Matthew? I think I
Matthew
spoke to
Kyle,
the
yeah.
Yeah, I spoke to them, yeah, because there's I have a KK here, so there's it's like learning as you go. There's always something that pops up later. So
Yeah.
really this year I've been really drilling down on the long term future about balancing US and Japan assets and stuff. And the other thing is we had my daughter was born 2 years ago, so we're hoping to stop renting, and then we want
Belated
to become.
congratulations, but
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so we definitely, we have a unique situation that I've been renting this whole time. So I've been through, I've seen the gamut, and I've also been in high level buildings, like Tutor in Tokyo in Kachidoki, which was right next to the Olympic Senju Mura as they were building
okay.
it. And that was used as an office before I moved from Fukuoka to Tokyo. And then we lived in Meguro-ku and also Daikanyama during the lockdown, which was amazing, right near Shibuya.
Mm.
So I've been in some very high end and extremely convenient neighborhoods. So we have a high standard for what we're looking for our family home.
Okay, so now you're
Yeah.
renting and you're looking to buy a family home.
Yeah, we want to have this be our last rental. So we were in Kobe for 1 year, and then now we're in Uji here. So we're ready to make a purchase. And the whole thing I'm on the fence of is like, with the expensive construction materials now, do we want to build new and put a fair amount into one property? Or as I listened to all the people and what ML was talking about with in his amazing presentation was, don't go for this dream home. So we were thinking maybe to get two places that are much cheaper and, have one as a sort of like a second home / event retreat center.
Mm.
So that those are sort of like the basic things we're thinking about. We don't want to have a huge DIY project on our hands.
Well, not
The
DIY in
main
the sense
residence.
that, not in the sense that you'll be doing it, but a lot of the people I talk to who are also into higher end places, they do have them custom built. Like they like to
Yeah,
sit down with the architect and go over the
yeah,
plans and add a room here, and
yeah.
and that you're not going to be able to do much of that with the housing companies.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I've definitely gone through the process. So I almost purchased a property used in a previous marriage, and so I went through the entire process of looking at all the homemakers and then going through the personal negotiation, and it fell through at the last minute because the neighbor didn't want to have the owner wanted to continue to use a special little garage he had, and the neighbor next door kind of like wasn't for it, so the whole deal fell through. So
Right.
yeah, in the end, that was good. So yeah, and then with the second property is that in my field, one of my friends is the guy who really rebuilt the Yatsukatake area. It's in Yamanashi,
Okay.
and he actually has connections to the Israeli ambassador, former Israeli ambassador, and they were on a tour with the Japanese when the fighting broke out last year. Or so he's got a lot of property in there, and there's all the besso being recycled in those areas like Hakuba and Yamanashi there in
Yep.
Hokuto City. Yeah, so that's being said, like our audience would like to have a place that we could gather at. So it would be like a private hotel or, like a place we could have a little event space and the rooms that our guests could stay at, but it would not be like a full-on business or Airbnb.
But you're saying you're not looking for a big project, but some of these older, either bubble era,
Yeah, probably, yeah.
pretty solid concrete homes, like around Izu Peninsula and Hakone and that whatnot, but also some of the bigger, nicer onsen resorts have got some really good potential. But that is a project, though. You're not going to be doing this. It's not a turnkey kind of, I can set up whatever
Right.
business and move in ready. No.
Yeah, yeah. If we find the right place, yeah. So it would be like either two different locations, or what we might have is like they call like the Hanare. So we could have this, the second building like a Hanare, a main house with a Hanare there.
Annex. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, next. So we have some privacy, and then we have a little gallery slash cafe slash little event place, and
I'm,
that I
I'm
can
sorry
use.
for looking to the side all the time. We're acclimating a new cat, and the
Oh, no problem.
old crew are giving him a hard time. So I'm just making sure
No,
there's no ijime happening.
no worries. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I guess the thing is, and a friend of mine in Kokobunji, he's a doctor from America, and his wife they purchased them a house, and then the house next door came up for negotiation, and he's doing the same thing. They've now purchased the house next door, they gutted it, and then they're making a vegetarian food clinic, and he's like a nutrition, and so they've got a nice industrial style kitchen up on the second floor, and then a ballet slash he's also a bodybuilder. He has like a fitness studio in the first floor. So they've done an amazing job. Yeah. So we want to have like instead of like going all putting a lot of money, $500,000 into one quote unquote dream house. It seems like it's more realistic with this environment to actually do it more though two places even.
I don't know. I'm trying to just brainstorm thinking what I can help you with, but we don't really have much experience with that. I mean, we've got a couple of customers that we helped with buying a land that was being constructed on, but that was cookie cutter type family homes from the housemakers, right? It wasn't
Right.
anything exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
the stuff you pick from a catalog, this or that, but not much beyond that.
Right. Yeah. I've also looked in the Itoshima area, so I've gone through a bit of that as well. Yeah. So it's how is there any major delay these days with the I mean, like there is what was Alicia was saying, like it might be safer to go with the new house route, like a prefab type. You might not have all the customizations you want, but at least it's a new place, and it's not
It'll
it
definitely
has
be faster and cheaper. And they usually, I mean, occasionally something happens and then they have delays, but after a while they found their alternative shipping routes for old stuff and everything becomes okay again.
yeah.
Custom made always has the chance of, yeah, that exact thing that you chose is just not available for the next 7, 8 months, right?
Right.
Mm.
What were the onsen areas you mentioned, by the way, that were had those, recent usable type of Aki or used buildings, used
Well, a
homes?
friend of mine just bought something here in Itoshima. Speak of not Itoshima. It's right on the border of Fukuoka City, just before it becomes in Itoshima, but it's very much the same vibe.
Yeah, Imajuku. I used
And
to teach out there,
I
Suzenji
have,
and Imajuku.
I have a client who bought something like that in Nagano. Uh, within about an hour and a bit from, damn, what's that beautiful castle city there?
Ueda?
No, not
Matsumoto.
Matsumoto,
Matsumoto.
Matsumoto,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's really
Matsumoto.
good. Yeah, that's a good one.
Not far from there, and
Hmm.
trying to think. Uh, not exactly yokans, but people have bought fairly large ex-holiday homes in and around Miyoko recently.
Yeah. I was there. We did an event there last summer. Yeah.
Yeah, that area has definitely taken off.
Hmm.
But I think there are plenty of. I'm just we're not that familiar with them. We don't do a huge amount of work in that space, but there's quite a few of those. Izu Peninsula is quite a few. I don't know if they have actual onsens, but they definitely have some very nice holiday resort spots.
Yeah. I like that down. I love that down there too. Izakogan.
Mm.
Yeah. A client or slash friend of ours got an amazing, an enormous house in Noto, the Hakui city. It's in
Yep.
the Kanazawa side of Noto Peninsula. So, I mean, the house is just gigantic with it. She has 500 tsubo, Gohaku tsubo with
Ooh.
the property. Yeah, it's just, yeah, she barely purchased it, she said. But yeah, so she's going to use that as an event space. And so there are some really big gems out there, some amazing gems out there.
Yeah, but again, those are all projects, right?
Right. Okay. Right. Right.
It's definitely not a set and forget type of investment now.
Yeah. The second home we could definitely work on fixing up. So I guess with what kind of how many listings do you usually look at, or how many listings do you guys go through every month? Or are the people you're talking about, they found it on their own?
Um, we might research. We usually, I mean, we can research for anyone who's interested, but with people like yourself who are looking for either a family home or holiday home or somewhere where they'll be running a business hands-on, they're going to be the best filter for that because they can look at a few layouts and pictures and a map location and immediately know if it ticks all their boxes or not. With us, it's going to be a
Yeah.
lot more hit and miss.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we go through a lot of listings with them, but those are listings that they have sourced themselves, and then we give them our 2 cents about them. We raise red flags. We tell them to maybe prioritize this over that because of reason ABC.
Yeah.
We go through quite a few of them every month, yeah, but it's not ones that we've researched. It's usually ones the customers brought to us. The listings that we research are usually going to be investment properties, most case owner change, turnkey kind of things.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, so that's also the other. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, are there a fair amount of those coming up every month, or in these recent days?
Of which, sorry?
Those kind of owner transfers or like the building purchases that
Yeah,
Alicia
yeah, it's
does.
a huge market. It's always been huge.
Is that's a good secondary revenue, like a passive income?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a long-term residential lease, it's not going to go much beyond, I don't know, 6% if you're lucky, depending on where you're buying.
Hmm.
Um, but otherwise, yeah, otherwise, apartos, like small buildings, can get to maybe 6, 6.5. There's always quite a few of those.
Hmm.
We make it a bit more of a narrower focus because we recommend that they buy within 10 minutes to a station. And if it's a wooden structure, 20 years and younger. If it's a concrete mansion room, maybe 30 years and younger. So we put more and more and more filters on that top level funnel.
Hmm.
But still, there are a lot. Yeah, Japan's I mean, it's the world's second or third biggest market, depending if you're looking at transaction wise or capital wise.
Yeah.
There's
So
never
the
any shortage of deals.
so for the standard rent, that's like you're looking at 10 to 15,000 profit a year in US dollars with that
Standard,
6%. With the 6%, like if you multiply that by 4 to 6 units, it's like 10 to 20 grand a year in profit.
if you own an apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not oogles and boogles, but it's decent.
No, but it's a lot cheaper than you'd
Yeah.
buy anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's also one item where we were sort of also thinking about. Yeah. So we haven't really, I guess the main family home is obviously the number one priority, but we've also got these other things on the horizon.
Yeah.
We interrupt this broadcast to tell you about Tokyo Family Stays. They're a short-term rentals company in Tokyo, and they offer a home away from home experience, which is just perfect for remote working, quarantining, if that's still a thing, or if you just need somewhere quiet to get away from the world. They offer a variety of options for families, corporate relocations, or even if you're simply transitioning between homes in Tokyo. The properties are super comfortable, tastefully furnished, fully equipped with all amenities, and they accommodate up to 10 people. So really the only thing you'll need to bring with you is your toothbrush and maybe a change of clothes. They come with fast unlimited wireless internet, dedicated workspaces, and fully equipped kitchens, and they're just a delight to stay in. Fantastic alternative to Japanese business hotels, which if you've ever stayed in one, you probably know they're tiny, they're noisy, fine for a night or two if you're on your own, but longer term or with a family, you'll probably feel you're in a jail cell very quickly in a Japanese business hotel. So if you want to give yourself a sense of space and freedom by renting a real home with comfortable Western beds, including all the necessities like baby bedding, children's toys, high chairs, etc., you definitely want to reach out to Tokyo Family Stays. They've been at it for over a decade. They're a fully licensed minpaku or short-term stay operator. And as a special bonus for our viewers and listeners, they're also throwing in a breakfast basket upon arrival for anyone who books and mentions the Japan Real Estate Podcast or NTI. And not only for guests, if you're a property owner, you've got an investment property that you want to tweak for higher profit, or a holiday home that you want to rent out when you're not using it via short-term stays, drop them a line today, see how they can help you maximize your property's income. And again, as a special bonus to our viewers and listeners, they're also offering a free audit of your existing short-term stay listings without any obligation whatsoever. So feel free to reach out to them at tokyofamilystays.com. Well worth a visit. And again, if you're in the market for a family home in or around the Tokyo metropolitan area, Emil's your man. Don't be shy to reach out to him as well at sales@realestate.jp. And now back to the podcast.
Yeah. Do you qualify for mortgages for all of that, or are you paying cash?
We could, we were, yeah, I have a KK here, so we were going to think about doing a partial loan.
Okay.
But, we have access to, a few $100,000 cash for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a property. At least it's a good start.
Yeah. How much of the new ones with the, and especially now with the weak yen, it's really killing us business wise here, but it's a chance to grab something with the dollar, right? The strong dollar.
Yeah. A brand new build, like, if a developer buys a bit of land and says, here's what I'm going to build on it, and you can come in and buy it before they break ground. Those would be, depending on where. Last one we bought was here, not in Fukuoka City, but about 30 minutes by train to the east. It's called Futsukaichi. It's a little town that's...
Yeah, I know very well. Yeah, know well, yeah.
So that cost us about Ichioku Nisen, I think.
Okay. Wow. Even Fukuoka. Oh, Ichioku. Okay. Wow.
Not officially Fukuoka, but definitely close enough.
Right. Futsukaichi. Design for, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're talking secondhand, in good locations, they usually start at around 45, 50 million yen.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be 20 years and younger again.
Right.
We even had a customer who bought in Tokyo. It's very rare for us to do deals in Tokyo. The yield is pretty low and prices are too high there. But we had one who bought I guess it's technically a duplex. It's 2 units, one on top of the other.
Okay, yeah.
And that was 32 million as recently as 2.5 years ago.
Quite cheap, yeah.
Yeah. So they're out there, but usually I'd say 40, 50 million for a second-hand one, or about Ichioku for a brand new one.
Wow, it's still Ichioku, yes.
Yeah.
Even that's how many tsuba, a fairly large house? Or the cookie cutter?
One we bought in Futsukaichi, I don't remember the sizes, but it's 3 floors, 9 units, each unit being a 1 LDK.
Oh, that was I'm sorry, not a new home. That's the rental apartment.
Apato.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
right, okay.
A brand new home very much depends on the land where you're going to buy them. Here in Fukuoka, they're still selling in some places for 3,500 mango.
Something, yeah, that's cheap. That's that's a super steal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have again we're a little bit spoiled because we've had the experience of being in some pretty nice areas with some pretty spacious buildings. So we're even in the place we're at now is like we're already outgrowing it. We have a trunk room we have 2 trunk rooms.
Yeah.
So I have my books and like CDs, my stock, we need space, so that's why where the Hanare came in, so we need, is that stuff just a matter of going onto the homes and the what is it, sumo and that stuff, and just putting in the right
It's
the right
where I
search
would
terms?
where I would start, but once you get in touch with agents, I would ask them to start sending you listings directly before they post them, because by the time they get to the portal websites, it means that that agent's clients or investors list that they always float things to first.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's raised their hand, and that's sometimes you catch a good deal because it was just the right timing and nobody had the money to pull the trigger, but often
Yeah.
it's going to be a case of nobody pounced on it, so it goes out to the portals, right?
Right. And how do you say that? What was you saying? Is there some sort of yogo, like a special phrase to say that? Like send me the unlisted stuff.
Oh, that you have to talk to my wife, to my
Oh,
partner.
okay,
But that's I get into the picture once the initial introductions have been already made and they know that there's a foreigner involved. I don't make
okay.
the initial connection.
I
Sorry.
see. No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know this. Yeah, it's sort of all over the place. And what kind of you own your? What do you guys own? Do you have your own place and an office, or just when you mentioned that you own a few apartments too? I'm guessing.
Yeah, we have our portfolio of mansion rooms and that small building that I've mentioned. I think about a dozen mansion rooms plus that small building plus one single family home that we're renting out.
Hmm.
We normally wouldn't go for that, but that was a really good deal. We couldn't pass on it. And then we had a small office, then we outgrew it. We looked for another office in the same building, but there wasn't anything for purchase. So we ended up renting another unit in the same building.
Hmm.
Then we outgrew that one, and then we decided to move into something like what you're thinking about, but in a single structure. So it's a house office complex.
Oh yeah.
The bottom floor is office, and we live on the second floor.
Oh great.
Two kitchens, two bathrooms, so it's not fully separated. The way up is through the house, but the
Yeah.
bottom floor has got its own facilities.
That's great. Yeah, there might be some of those in like Maizuru or Akasaka, or
Yeah. Yeah.
Daimyo.
They
Yeah,
exist in every city. They're not cheap, but they're worth it
yeah.
if you're going to be running the office from home.
The duplex.
Yeah. No, not a duplex. No, it's a single family home, just a
Uh,
really big one with double the facilities kind of thing.
that's what. Yeah, that's the kind of thing. What is there a special any terms on that? Whether that you like the size that you know of, or off the
Not
top of your
really.
head?
It's a normal family home.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Within 20 years, not too old.
The one we bought is older, but we made sure it was in good shape. We ran a structural inspection. We did a bit of renovation and took it off the purchase price. It was also bought from acquaintances, from friends
Okay.
who are leaving the country. So it's an unusual deal. We normally
Yeah.
wouldn't have found it as easily as that, I think.
Do you find you could talk those brokers down with the price? Are they flexible more these days with the economy kind of down?
Not really. If it's an owner occupier situation, it's a bit more flexible. If you're buying it from an investor, they know exactly what the yield is and they know whether they're going to get or not going to get their asking price. So not beyond 10-15%, I'd say.
Right.
The one we got for, yeah, same, about 10% off, not even. Hey, out. Louis? No. Sorry about that.
Oh, nice guy. Yeah. What's the name? What's his name?
This one is Sylvania, and she's the mega bitch. She's doing most of the bullying.
Okay, bully. Yeah, Jimmy. You guys are cat people. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge journey to start on, but we need to I need to we'll just need to start seeing places. We're not exactly sure as to where we want to, the other option is like to have the apartment in the Tokyo area and then a larger place outside, in the Izu slash, Nagano, whatever. So we're still kind of like we haven't pinned down anything yet, unfortunately. We know what we don't want.
Yeah.
Small and old is what we don't want for sure.
Well, your space there looks nice. If you could get something like that, you'd probably be happy, right?
Yeah. Although Kyoto's pretty good. Although there are, as you live there, the demerits start to appear. Like the water supply is not that great. There's a lot of chlorine in the water here.
Yeah.
And then although it's convenient to Kyoto, we have a very one of the worst ghettos in all of Kansai is right down the street.
Really?
It's number 2 to Nishinari. It's in
wow.
Kyoto. Yeah, it's called it's in Fushimi or edge of Kyoto City. It's
Yeah.
it's a total like danchi. There's like tons of danchi, Ishida danchi they call it. Yeah, it
Wow.
used to be very crime ridden apparently.
I didn't know
Uh,
that.
yeah. So it's yeah, we're in technically in Uji, but it's right on the city border.
I love Kyoto when I'm bringing people over for a tour, but I don't know that I'd want to live there personally. ちょっと重い.
Yeah, yeah, it's the other way. Yeah. And it's also small, and the
Yeah.
houses and stuff are small, tight in the city.
Mm.
Yes. All right, great. And then how about one other question to a veteran like yourself is like, do you have an estate? Do you have a multinational estate, or is it all in like your company in Japan?
Not properties. I had some Australian property. I moved in from Australia. I had a bit of property there when I moved here, but I eventually liquidated it to buy more here in Japan.
Hmm.
I invest in other things. So I hold multiple currencies in multiple bank accounts, and then I can profit a little bit about against the peaks when they go this way or that.
Yeah.
And I buy stocks all over the place in Europe, in Australia, definitely Tech USA,
Hmm.
and in Japan as well, Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
But property, I don't know. I'm kind of old-fashioned geeky in the sense that I like somewhere that I would want to come and visit on a regular basis if anything goes wrong.
Yeah.
So we might eventually spread out to Italy as well, which is another place that we like to go on if we can, but
Right.
not much beyond that property-wise. No, but I do invest in REITs in all kinds of countries.
Hmm. You're like the nomad capitalist.
Yeah, I guess you could call me.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
nomad yet, not until my son goes to uni, but I will be traveling a lot more when that happens. Yeah.
hmm. Yeah, it's hard to say where to put the anchor down, with the looming earthquakes and everything. Uh, so it's sort of, that the Nankai Trough thing eliminates a lot of the country too, if you're really thinking about it too.
So I hear, so I hear. But I mean, I don't know about anchors. I try not to plan. I mean, I plan financially for the far future, but logistically about where I'm going to be, I think a year or two ahead at most, not much beyond that. I don't know. My own life experience has taught me that no plans that you make withstands anything that the universe has in store for
Sure.
you. So I try not to get too attached to any plan.
Very true. Very true.
Mm.
That's great. Well, if we would you and we would love to if you had if we find a list of places that maybe we could send them your way and you could to get a third opinion, a second opinion rather.
Yeah, sure. Always
Yeah.
happy.
I like the articles on your site. It's like you've got the onsen, a lot of I guess yeah, we have to there's the sky's the limit as to what you could do, with the if you had the right property and the right, building.
Yeah, yeah. We do. What's on our website is more like marketing samples. A lot of the time, by the time we publish them, they'll be gone. It's a very fast market.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try to include samples of all types so people just get a rough idea of what's out there. Yeah.
Hmm. Great. That's awesome. Yeah. So I appreciate your time. Did I miss anything? I guess I was looking, Akia Hub, those guys, is that more the stuff on their site is are they getting the direct listings, or are they doing their own research, or is that something I should look at too, do you think?
Akia Hub, I think the listings you see on Akia Hub are via the Akia Mart engine. Do you know Akia Mart?
Vaguely, yeah.
And Akia Mart, what they do is they scrape all of the major property websites that are easy to scrape. So Sumo at Homes, Nifty, homes.co.jp, those. And then
Hmm.
they put it in a Zillow Redfin kind of, dynamic map interface with filters in English. It's
Yeah.
just a really easy way to search, but it's no secret listings. It's all off the main market.
Okay, right. Gotcha. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there are occasional, if you get in touch with smaller agencies that don't really do the major property portals, they have their own little websites, or they even, types that just put little flyers on their shop windows and stuff.
Hmm.
You could get some access to not exactly off market, but less commonly published properties. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was introduced to a great realtor in Ebisu because we might be losing our office space this year. So I was introduced to some great buildings, some great rooms, in places right off
Yeah,
a
that's the
couple weeks
best way
ago.
to do it. Just get a relationship going with a bunch of realtors, even if they are the ones publishing on major property website. Just make sure they know that you're a serious buyer and they send you listings before they make it to the portals.
Mhm.
That's the best way to get the best deals.
Yeah.
Mm.
And finally, I'm just I guess the one thing in my mind, like I've come from the US, so with this resale, do you think you and your buyers are often considering the resale? Like I guess it seemed like Emerald sounded like he was pretty confident that you could move. Like for something in me, like when I realized that the property value, the house value didn't increase, that it would be nearly impossible to to
Now,
resell unless.
the structure decreases, but if you bought in a good location, the land has appreciated significantly in the last 15 years in all major metropolitan centers.
Yeah.
Reselling, again, it's a very liquid market and it's a very big market. Reselling is never an issue if it's priced correctly. Most of our customers, they do resell after, depending on what they bought. If they bought something in a mansion, then after, I don't know, they buy 20 to 30 years of age and then sell it before it hits 40, which is when building fees start to escalate more rapidly.
Right.
And if it's a house, then they bought it 20 years and younger and they'll resell it before it hits 35, 40, because same reason, because maintenance escalates.
Right.
But most of them have sold approximately where they bought, maybe up to 15%
Wow.
or 20% higher or lower.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so the structure depreciates, but the land, hopefully, if you bought in a good place, the land held its value or increased in value. So it's not, I mean, it's not gonna be huge leaps and bounds in property value unless you happen to hit a hotspot.
Right.
But it's not, the losing value thing is a thing for dilapidated rural Akias, not for solid investment properties.
Right. Right. Yeah.
They might lose value if, something major has happened to the property that's decreased its rental value, but they're basically evaluated on the rental yield that they can command. So if that hasn't changed, or if that area now features lower rents because it's at lower yields because it's a more popular area, then you probably sell it at around the same price or even more.
Right. And that goes for the apartment and the homes, right?
Yes. And
Right.
if you sell it within 5, 6, 7 years, and let's say you sold it for approximately the same price, then you're standing at I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50% in whatever you got in rental income over that period, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. And great. Yeah. So we'll see. Thank you. I appreciate all the input. Yeah.
My pleasure. It's
Lot,
good to
we're-
talk shop with somebody who's looking to buy, actually.
Yeah. Any final words of advice? It seems like, it's hard to know what to put first. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean, you know the market at least a lot better than most of our first-time buyers who are, all wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, looking for the perfect Akia in the countryside. At least
Yeah.
when I say something, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to really live there and see, and it's the little things that it's once you're there for a while, the surrounding areas and stuff like that,
It's a safe and fun and interesting market, but it's very different to what people are used to overseas.
Yes, yeah. Excellent. All right. Thank you, Ziv. I appreciate it.
I'll
good to see
over
you.
to my next one, but
Okay.
keep me posted and send me listings. We can record another session reviewing listings together.
That'd be
That's
great. Yeah. It's great to meet you, and I'm so happy to connect with all you guys. So many blessings. Cheers. Yeah, I'll be in touch, okay?
Same here.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
your
Say
time.
hi to Chicago.
Will do.
Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye. Arigato.
Bye.
Now, here's some big news for anyone interested in Akia, the abandoned vacant homes that are abundant all around Japan for very attractive purchase prices. Akia Mart, our latest sponsor, is a recently founded online search and discovery tool for Japanese real estate. Its user interface will be very familiar to users of Zillow or Redfin. The platform essentially scouts the internet for property listings, translates them into English, and displays prices in US dollars, all in one place and with a dynamic map interface that makes browsing, finding, and shortlisting your favorite properties a piece of cake. Which any of you who have been struggling with the dozens, if not hundreds, of Japanese property websites that are available online and their very clunky interface will probably find a real blessing. They've got already over 500,000 listings on the platform, and the database is expanding daily. Ranging from abandoned rural homes to luxury urban properties, Akia Mart makes it easy to find your dream home in Japan, regardless of your budget. Now, while the platform is essentially free for use, here's an exclusive offer for listeners of the podcast. You can use the promo code NTI to receive $5 off Akia Mart Pro.
The subscription will unlock a bunch of very attractive features for you, including unrestricted access to the entire nationwide property database and a whole range of filters, which will help power charge your search for that elusive perfect home and make it even easier. So hop over to akiya-mart.com. That's AKIYA-MART, akiya-mart.com, and kick off your search today. All right, now for our next conversation, and this time we're talking cheap Akiyas, so older vacant homes in Izu Peninsula specifically, which is a very popular holiday destination for both domestic and international visitors. And we talk about the property market in that area, why structural inspections are important anywhere you buy and almost at any age, and how these inspections work exactly, where and how to find listings, various things to consider when you are buying cheaper and older properties as opposed to young or new ones. What are some of the red flags to watch out for when you're looking at older listings? General market pricing dynamics, insurance, ongoing maintenance costs, international remittances into and out of Japan. A bit more about onsen water supply again, as well as on the topic of renting out your property when you're not using it. And finally, a bit about ourselves and how our services work here at NTI. So again, a nice deep dive into all things holiday home and Akiya related. I hope you find some value in this conversation as well. Okay, so I've browsed through your email. I've got a link there. I'll just point out in advance that that particular website that you've looked at, we have seen quite a few properties listed there that end up being off the market for a long, long time. So I might take what you see on there with a grain of salt. And also, let me share my screen so we're both looking at the same thing. Give me a sec.
Okay.
Where's share? Here. Okay, 1991. It's not too old. Oh, that's not the same one, is it?
Yeah, that's right. The top one there.
Yeah.
The question, obviously, I can read the English portion of this. The only questions I had was like I have a lot of questions, but in the photos, are any of these specifically, if you keep going, where they're pointing out defects and things that need attention? Obviously, any home you buy is going to need attention. Yeah. What are they pointing out here? Are they pointing out the decking needing replaced is all?
As far as I understand, yes. And that decking are not that cheap to begin with, but that positioning of the deck is going to take some logistics to replace, right?
Yeah. Which is fine.
Yeah, that would have to go, I think. Okay, I mean, they're showing us stuff that they've seen with the naked eye, which is good of them to do, but I wouldn't take that as a substitute for a structural inspection. There's bound to be more stuff that would need attending to.
Of course. The question is that we'll go back to that last one is that water damage, but I'm assuming anything.
I don't think so. That seems to me like peeling wallpaper more than anything else, but
which is nothing. But that's why you get an inspection done. I mean,
Yeah.
I assume I get that if you put an offer in, I would assume just like anywhere else, you put an offer in, you're still contingent under inspection.
yeah, so we would submit the offer. On the offer, we'd note that it's pending structural inspection report. And then if the offer has been accepted, then we'll go ahead and commission that. There's no point in you being out of pocket before the offer's been accepted.
Okay.
But just looking at it, man, I think it'll cost you several times the price of the property again to bring it up to any kind of decent condition, regardless of what they find in the structural inspection, just stuff that I'm seeing on the photos.
Yep. That's understandable.
And concrete retaining wall, which we're not seeing in the photos here, but because it's built on a cliff, I'm assuming there's a retaining wall there. When that goes, that can be a good 10, 15 million to rebuild if for any, I mean, even a medium kind of earthquake could, necessitate rebuilding the retaining wall. That could be another 10. Can I ask why you're in love with this property? Is it the views, the area? What is it about it?
Yeah, it's the views. I live in big cities. I just spent 2 weeks in New York. I'm back in Chicago now talking to you.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's just an excuse for me to come to Japan. And
are you sure though that you wouldn't want to focus on something in slightly better shape in this area? Like I'd rather see you paying a higher price and not having to worry about unknowns like this one, because this could end up being a lot higher than something at a higher price.
yeah, fair. I wouldn't rule this out from the jump, and without having, doing some due diligence. But yeah, of course,
Yeah, we
I'm
can. The
open
only
minded.
thing
I just
is,
I haven't seen anything that's. I like the elevation of this, the
yep,
idea of that. Wouldn't want to be super close to the beach.
yep.
And I like the general research on the area that I've done. I'm not an expert, obviously, the way that you are living in the region.
Well, I mean, if the location is ideal for you and you're buying this knowing that potentially you would at some point just completely rebuild there, that's one thing. But if you're hoping for something livable, I think you might be better looking at something that's in better
I,
shape. But I mean, we're happy to pursue any number of properties you want. The thing is that every structural inspection will cost you about $1,000. So if we put in 10 of those just to find out that they're all in bad shape, it'll end up
yeah,
costing you
fair.
half of
Uh,
that price again, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I'm not looking to put in 10 offers. I'd be looking to like narrow down to one property, two properties max. But I'm also willing to. I would need help, but I'm moderately handy in terms of doing my own work. I've owned 4 homes. I own the condo that I'm talking to you from right now.
Interior, but
So
I'm assuming you're not doing structural and roofing and plumbing and wiring, yeah?
no, definitely not.
Those are
Definitely
the
not.
things I'd be concerned about with a property that looks like, I mean, the age of it is not too bad, but it doesn't look in good shape. So I'm wondering, and the way it's built on the cliff, they're tilting, sinking. Termites are all also a thing, and if we do find termite tracks, we don't know how deep they got into the wood. That's a bit hard to determine.
Yep. Also, Ziv, just from the limited research I've done, you're the expert, not me. So feel free to correct me at
Yeah.
any point in time. Um, I, I with a property at this price, even if I have to invest more in it, I'm not looking at it as a big return on investment. I'm looking at it as pure like enjoyment for myself, right? I know from what I've listened to and what I've read that properties just don't appreciate, right? That's not a thing.
Structures don't appreciate. Land definitely
Yeah.
doesn't appreciate. But this one, I mean, Ito is a sleepy place. It was a lot bigger in the 80s before the bubble burst. Now it's very, very much in the doldrum. So I wouldn't expect anything to hold its value or definitely not gain in
Yeah.
value unless something really shifts. But well, I mean, the cost of a brand new rebuild is about 15 million yen. So if you're pouring another 10, 12 million yen into an older property, it starts to not make sense.
Fair. I haven't considered building from scratch just because of the whole concept of building a home in a country you don't live in is just not something I would want to deal with.
Well, I mean, it's not more complicated than handling a big renovation project.
Yeah, if you have people you trust there overseeing it, I suppose.
There's very legitimate I mean, everything in Japan is very much licensed to the moon and back. So the
Yeah.
companies you work with are not going to swindle you. They might be, cost more, a little bit more or less, or do a little bit more of a less of a better job, but they're all legit.
Is it possible, since this looks like this property's been on the market for a while, is
Yeah.
it possible that they've already had inspections done? Like somebody did an inspect, because, from my experience of selling my homes that I've owned, if you get an inspection done and there's things that come up, a lot of times the seller will just say, "Oh, here are the issues that came up," from the previous.
We do run across these once in a while, but I'd say 1 in 10 at best. Most of them have never done an inspection.
Got it. Okay, cool.
And I mean, the way that it's priced too, it's definitely a case of, what you see is
fixer
what
upper.
yeah,
Yeah, fixer
take it
upper.
if you want to, and if not, don't worry about it, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, I'm interested, having said, but I don't know, until we figure out how much work would need to be done. I don't know how interested in. I'm happy to pay if I end up paying double of what that cost. I'm okay with that.
Double on top of the property price or double in total?
Double in total and or on top of the property price, but at some point, it becomes a diminishing return
I
because
don't think from the looks of it, just that deck would be about that price again. And I think there's going to be more wrong with it. So I don't think you'll get away with double that price, to be honest. But I could be
yeah.
completely wrong.
Um, Are there so the questions I have for you, are there other maintenance that I might not be thinking of that would be required on a monthly basis? I know that you guys offer those sort of services as well.
Well, as the house gets older, this one is not too old, but once they hit about 40 years of age or 35, depending on the location and how bad they are, you should be factoring in something like 2 to 3 thousand bucks a year in average annual maintenance. It'll come and go. I mean, everything will be okay for a few years, then the roof goes for 20,000, but on average, maybe 2, 3. And as they hit about 50, maybe up that to 3, 4 thousand bucks a year.
Okay, that's
Um,
reasonable.
Aside from that, I mean, you will need somebody to take care of utilities for you. And if you're not using it more than once every other month, I mean, if you're not using it as frequently as once every other month, you'd need somebody to come in and do airing and light vacuuming because the mold and humidity will build up. And that can very quickly damage the interior in Japan. It's a very humid country.
And
And
that
this
and
one, it's
that's
hard to see
and
from the, sorry?
you guys have a network to be able to connect me with people to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, and if not, we just research local contractors in whichever city we're working in. And from the look of this, I think you would need some landscaping done on a regular basis as well, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Because according to where's that map? I think that was showing us the boundary lines, wasn't it? No.
Yeah. Yeah, and it says something, it's not identified in there, Zib, but it says something about because of the parcels, I guess it's two parcels, that it has a higher monthly fee, but it doesn't, from what I couldn't identify what the monthly fee was from the listing.
Yeah, this website doesn't give us too much info. Assuming the property is still available, which I'm still not sure about, we'll have to find the original Japanese listing. But I don't know how you can do that without getting a subscription to that website. Can you contact them and find out if we can get the? I mean,
Absolutely, I can, yeah.
yeah, we can get some agent to start looking at photos and maybe Google image search. We might be able to find it. Yeah, you can even do that yourself. Just put that photo into a Google image search and see if you can come up with a Japanese listing. That might be the easiest way to do it. But otherwise, it's a bit of a needle in a haystack situation. So we'll have to contact whoever published it and see if they can provide us with a Japanese listing to contact the listing agent directly.
Okay, I can try on my end too. It was at one point, it was on Michael through the newsletter, this same property.
Are you subscribed to Michael's?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Well, Michael will happily send you the listing if it's still out there.
It was on his and then it disappeared, but then I saw it pop back up on here at a lower price, like they reduced it more.
Well, Michael's a lot easier to communicate with. I'd start with him.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. I could do that.
And if it went off his, then there's a good chance it maybe, I don't know, maybe sold, maybe resurfaced, like you said, at a lower price. I'm not sure.
Okay. So I guess that would be square one, right? The next steps.
Yeah, but I mean, because we'll have to send people over to do remote viewings on your behalf, we want to make best use of their time, which is going to cost you. So it'd be a good idea to line up 4, 5, 6 of these in the same area so they can make a day of it.
Okay, fair. That I can do.
Yeah, so as soon as we have, but again, we need the original Japanese listings. With Michael's, you can just ask for it. With these guys, you might have to contact them and find out. I'm not sure. And then once we have those, then the agent will put in a buyer side agent who will be liaising directly with you and do everything in English remotely on your behalf, logistics wise. And then they will contact the listing agents and organize a viewing and find out about any other known issues that are maybe not noted in the listing. And then we'll again, make a day of it. Send somebody out there to view all of them for you on Zoom or what.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that would be that was kind of, you answered a bunch of my questions there with going through that.
Now, if you've attended any of our recent JREP Summit events in Tokyo or online, you've probably heard our sponsor, Robert Miller from Innovatious.com. He's been in web solutions here in Japan for the past 25 years, and he's also an active investor in Japanese real estate property, as well as global online property, which is his specialty and what his company Innovatious is all about. They offer a full suite of website services for entrepreneurs and small business owners, including all aspects of web design and management, backup and updates,
content formatting and editing, proactive maintenance and error fixing, you name it, with a strong focus on SEO excellence, which is what gets you those hardcore top of the list search engine rankings. But there is a difference. Innovations works off a simple, all-inclusive monthly subscription model, as opposed to the typical outdated and confusing project model. So you never have to wonder how much any request for any work to be done on your website might cost. It's always $497 per month. And if that's not enough, if you've mentioned you've heard of their services on the Japan Real Estate Podcast, you'll also get 10% off this monthly price for life. Also, and equally important, if not more, you can try out Innovations for just 1 month, then switch them off, on again later if you want, and so forth. There are no minimum subscription terms. Now, if you're a small business owner, managing and growing a website is super distracting and time consuming, right? That's exactly where Innovations comes in. Robert's team takes care of all of that for you so that you can focus on what you do best. So feel free to email Rob on robert@innovations.com, and his team will conduct a full SEO and website audit on your site, reveal anything that you should address to increase your website's appeal, and provide you with an easy-to-read detailed report with your own branding so that you can make some informed decisions on your online strategy and watch your business grow as you implement it. So once more, robert@innovations.com. Drop him a line and get your website reviewed today.
What's I guess the other couple things too I would want to know too is just when they're looking is what's the the whole point is to not live in being a city is like what's the access to local creature comforts in terms of like food, access to grocery.
If you're not within Ito City is fairly rural. If you're not within one of those towns there, it'll be a bit of a drive in any case, and public transport is not huge out there. So
yeah, which is okay.
Are you going to be renting a car every time you're here?
I guess so. Yeah, that'd probably be how I would set it up. I don't know that I need to own a car.
I mean, Ito City itself is a fairly large town within Izu Peninsula, so there's definitely stuff happening in the town itself. The question is how far that one is. Having said that, it's a sleepy resort town kind of place, yeah. So
perfect.
Don't expect too much happening there.
That's okay. That's fine. I the whole point is to enjoy nature and to be away from city things.
I'd assume you'd probably, not knowing what this one exactly is, I'd assume you'd probably need something like a 15-20 minute drive to get to like, a supermarket or what.
Okay, cool. All right, and then what's insurance like in Japan? I don't recall that from any of my home insurance.
It's fairly cheap. It'll cost you somewhere for a typical family home built, around the price evaluation and year of this one. It'll probably cost you somewhere between 300,000 to 500,000 yen for a 5-year policy. So about
reasonable.
$700-800 a year ish.
Okay, cool.
And that covers you in case of a total loss. It'll cover you for a complete rebuild of the house. So again, about 16 million yen.
Okay.
But we need to find out if that land plot is rebuildable. If zoning regulations have changed since it was built, you might have to take that compensation money and go build on another land plot, which you'll have to purchase separately, right?
Okay, clear.
And for earthquakes and tsunamis, which are a derivative of earthquakes, it's going to be half of the coverage, so 7-8 million yen.
I see. In case of
still more than the price of the property, and hopefully more than what you've put into it, but it's not gonna get you a complete rebuild.
Clear. So what you're saying, what I'm following is, in case of a major natural disaster, the policy only pays out half.
The policy covers you. Yeah, I mean, total loss, I think in insurance terms is defined as over 50% of the value of the property in repairs. So it doesn't have to be a major earthquake, especially sitting on a cliff like that. But the zoning is one thing. The other thing is if there are portions of the property that haven't been registered, because a lot of people back in the 80s and 90s were just adding balconies and stuff left, right, and center. So if there are portions of the property that haven't been registered, then it's quite possible that those parts of the structure would not be insurable.
Okay, clear.
So you
Meaning
could
it
spend the
wasn't.
money, you could spend the money and time and hassle, or yeah, I mean, you'd be doing it with someone like us, I assume, not yourself, but to get official surveyors out there, re-register those parts that have been illegal yourself. But when they go and submit that, you might find that changes have to be made, which again is a renovation, right?
Got it. In order for it to be insurable
To
is
be
what you're saying.
insurable, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So what are the next steps from here then? We need to figure out this listing and then try to
Yeah, let's
identify
find this
other.
listing for Michael will be easiest, I'd say. And then if you can, either through Michael, are you on Akiamart, by the way?
No, nope. I'm just on the his newsletter.
Well, his newsletter is amazing, but it's hand curated. If you want access to a lot more properties, I'd go to Akiamart. Let me just, I'll reply to the last.
I'm familiar with it, but I'm not on IKEA Mart.
Well, the subscription is pretty cheap, and I'll give you a discount code as well. So hang on. I mean, the advantage there is that it's automatic. It's not as nicely curated as Michael's, but it definitely it scrapes all of the major property websites and just puts them in a Zillow, Redfin kind of dynamic map interface like you used to from the States.
Yep.
So it's a lot easier to search, and there's a million or more properties on there at any given time. So you'll probably find a few more listings in there that you'd be interested in.
Okay, cool. I'll do that
So
as well.
I'll send you the website and the discount code. And then in my signature there, you've also got my mobile number. If you want to just add me on WhatsApp or Line or whatever you use, then we'll be able to communicate. I'll be a lot more responsive there than on email.
Okay, I'll do that. And
But
then
let's round up a few more listings because we're definitely going to be sending somebody out there. It'd be a shame I mean, it'll probably be someone from Tokyo, but it would be a day trip, so might as well get them to look at a few properties while they're there.
makes sense. And then at the point we once we're submitting an offer, that's the point where we go on. You and I go under contract as well, correct?
Well, what we'd normally do, like you probably read in our explanation of services document, is we do everything on your behalf, so you just need to talk to us and make bottom line decisions.
Yep.
We would have needed to get that contract in place and our fee paid in advance before we start contacting any third parties on your behalf. But we can't, we're a bit too swamped and handling some recruitment and training issues, so we can't do that before about the end of the year. What I'll be doing, as I said, is I'll put you directly in touch with a foreigner-friendly English-speaking agent who'll be able to handle the logistics of it, same as we would have done. Being realtors, they're Japanese, they're by the book, but they're not going to be normally super strategic, like the kind of things that we just pointed out looking at. That's not their job. Their job is to either research listings for you or work with listings that you send to them and facilitate a legal transaction on your behalf. So if you want to, you can bring us in because that's only me. It's not going to involve our staffers. I can come in as a consultant for a few $100, which is a lot cheaper than having us do everything, and just hold your hand as you work with the agent, guide them on due diligence, review the structure and inspection report together, review the documents before you sign them, just make sure we're not making any costly mistakes. So that we can do at any time.
Okay, cool. But I would still need your services in order to do the bank transfers and such, correct? And the title transfers, no?
Well, English-speaking buyer's agent will be able to receive.
Okay, I'm clear. Okay,
they've worked with foreigners before. They're agents that we've vetted and work with regularly. They'll be able to handle all of that for you. Where you will probably need us post-settlement is for management and maintenance.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, cool. So let me work on obtaining the original listing on this. I'll reach out to Michael. And then I'll do the IKEA Mart thing as well. So as you said, we can line up multiples before we engage with a buyer.
And when you're searching, I mean, definitely go for Cliff, go for that location, go for like 30 or 40 years and 20 years and younger would be better if you could. But I would stretch your budget a little bit if you can and just get something that's not going to require as much work as this one, because I got a feeling this one might end up costing a lot more than you think.
Okay, clear.
Yeah.
Will do. Any other things that I hadn't thought of that I should do prior to following back up?
20 years and or as close as possible to 20 years and younger. The other thing is if it doesn't mention city sewage or septic tank, that probably means that it's on a pumping, they call it pump toilet. It's basically a cesspool under the house, and that stinks. So if you're
Stay
looking
away
at
from
any
that.
of those, just bear in mind that you'll need to install at least a septic tank, which is going to be about $1 million, or connect to city sewage if possible, depending on the area, which could be somewhere between 1 to 3 million. And water as well. If it doesn't say water supply, if it mentions well water, that's something to bear in mind. They can dry out and just not have water one day, and the quality needs to be religiously checked and maintained if you're going to be drinking or bathing in it. So water supply and sewage connection, or at least a septic tank, I definitely make sure that you get.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Otherwise,
And
yeah,
then,
it's a lifestyle choice. You'll be the best filter. You can look at photos and location and tell us if it ticks your boxes or not.
okay, and then the last question I have is the ones that have hot spring rights, that you basically are just paying a fee to have direct hot spring water drawn into the home, correct?
Correct, into your bath, yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You're just using it for holiday purposes. You're not going to be renting it out or anything, right?
No, not really. I mean, I hadn't. If I could rent it out, that would be okay, but it's not it's not a must, if you will.
Well, the ones that have hot spring rights are usually within resort grounds, which means that about half of them would not be rentable. I mean, friends and family is nobody's business if they happen to be staying there and helping you with the bills and stuff, but you won't be able to list it on Airbnb if the owner union doesn't allow it.
Okay, good to know. And that's something we could uncover, but that's not I'm not looking to make this into
Yeah,
a
if it's a nice to have, I wouldn't worry about it when searching.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, you said you sent me I'll add you on WhatsApp. I'll link up on the Kia Mart, and then I'll double back to you once I find this listing and some others as well.
A bit of a short list would be good. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Thanks very much for your time. I hope you get over that bout of food poisoning.
Pleasure. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
You as well. So there you have it. Nice couple of conversations there. Hope you enjoyed them. Do let me know if there are any other topics you'd like to hear discussed. Oh, and again, hop over to nippontradings.com to the Summit's downloads page, and don't forget to start booking your flights and hotels ahead of time if you are planning to be here for the next summit, which is 18th and 19th April 2026 in Tokyo. Now, before we go, we're also, as always, going to tell you and also link to our other sponsor's website. That's Hiroshi Shimizu, immigration lawyer and administrative scrivener. If you're thinking about moving here on a more permanent basis, or you're already in Japan on some sort of a temporary visa and you want to switch to a longer term or permanent one, or if you're considering setting up a local company or a branch office of a foreign company and you've got any sort of business or visa related inquiries, or even if you just want to find out what your options are on any of these topics, feel free to contact Hiroshi Shimizu. You can find him at japanimmigrationexperts.com. And he can help you set up a company, apply for any kind of visa, or just provide you with the best advice and extremely affordable consultation related to these topics. And he's already done that for many of our listeners. So feel free to reach out to him. Again, that's japanimmigrationexperts.com, and you'll be well on your way. And that's it from us for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Japan Real Estate Podcast. Do share it with your networks, and please let us know what you think. So leave us a short rating or review on the iTunes Store, on Spotify, or just drop us a line in the comment section of wherever you might have found this episode. We love hearing from you. Hope to have you with us again next time, and until then, have a great day or night ahead. Yoroshiku.